Hello everyone and welcome back to Lovely's Crafting Lodge. Today I just have a kind of a quick share on a project that I've been working on for a while. It's another Patriotic Journal. It's different than the last one that I did. The last one that I did was actually an altered book. This one I gutted the book and I actually used I put my own dyed paper in there and signatures, and I also used some scrapbooking paper similar to the other one. Well, same paper pad as the other one, as the altered book. And I also used the same digital kits from the altered book as well. I did different things in here, so I just wanted to show it to you. I posted on Instagram asking what your advice was for a cover. I want to do fabric. I didn't want to do a uniform exterior that I did on the first one. I wanted to do something different, and I really wanted to do an aged flag, but I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to make that cut. I don't know. I guess everyone has a line that they draw somewhere, and well, I guess I'm starting to find mine. I know in the beginning, I'm still in the beginning, but in the very beginning, I really didn't have a style, and I'm starting to feel out different styles that I enjoy. So this is what I have created. So these are coffee dyed papers, and it's from the digital kit here. And inside the digital kit, I glued them back to back so they were thicker and inked the edges, even though it already had a textured look to it. For the inside of this envelope here, it was stark white, so I just did some random stamping on it, and then just put this in it. I think this is called a tuck, an upper tuck maybe. This paper here is a little more porous. This is watercolor paper, and I thought it just really gave it a different texture. This is some paper that I created with leftover tie-dye from the summertime, just out, creating. Actually, we made this sweater that I have on. Had some leftover tie-dye and didn't want it to go to waste, and then I went ahead and after that put coffee into the mix too to give it more of an aged look. I think it came out really good. It's not blue as you can see. It's just really, I don't know. It's like it perfectly aged. I really enjoy this this journal that I made. I glued some tabs on here. Looking back, I see that there was like a little indentation here that was supposed to line up with the page. I like how they stick out far. So I don't know that I would change it, or that I will change it on this one. However, I do see the error that I made there. So there's that. Here's some more coffee dyed and leftover tie-dye that I had outside and just sun-dried. This is a turmeric and coffee dyed page, and it got really crispy on the end. And if in person, you can't see it here, but the papers were almost stuck together, and it's just so thin, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Here I took the 12 by 12, just a little scrap that I had. It was the full length, and I went ahead and folded it so it made it into two pockets here. I thought that turned out really well too. Here's more of that watercolor paper and the dyed paper. So here's the middle of the first signature, and I'm just going to kind of flip through here, just showing the different things. This one, actually, I don't know how to operate my printer, clearly. And so 2 of the digital pages got printed on the same piece of paper, but it looks really good. I'm not crazy about this page, and I might change it because this is not the proper orientation of the flag. When the flag is hung vertically, the union is to the left. always to the observer's left. So I would, you know, the person looking at it is the observer. And so the union, the stars, should be on the left. Now, if you're saying, well, on caskets, it's not like that. It's because the person is inside, right? And the flag is for them. They are the observer. So I want to change this. Ideas, thoughts? What do you guys think? Am I being too particular? I just think it's respectful. Again, more dyed paper. I really love how that came out, and I'm not sure that I could ever replicate that, but I sure will try this summer. Here's another coffee dyed page, and it is like light on this side and just so deep and dark on this side. And then in a spray bottle, I just spritzed some water, and it furthered the aging process here. So that's the end of the first signature, and we're on to the second signature here. Again, not knowing how to operate my printer, came out double printed. Here's some more turmeric, and this one actually has cinnamon on it too. You can see, well, I hope you can see the little speckles in there. I think it turned out really neat. I like it. And again, the back of that page, just, if you could just feel this, it's soft, but it just has like oh, sorry, it's my puppy, an aged feel to it. This one's a little brighter blue. I like it too. I think it kind of jazzes it up. Just made some tags here, and this little double-breasted pocket or something. And another tab. I held it up and tried to just do different textures and different techniques, and it just looks, I just love it. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? I'm not a blue person. I don't typically like blue, but this just, gorgeous. And this, I just made a little, maybe a tearaway or a little side notebook, and this was just little scraps that I had from that being outside and using up the rest of that tie-dye. I just bound it together with, this is fabric washi, which I find holds a little bit better than the other ones, but yeah. And then this is just open right here, so you could just slide it right down inside. And there's that right there. And I'll be right back. Give the puppy a couple toys to play with. All right, so this one has more inking than the other one. This is the watercolor page. We have some coffee and turmeric dyed again. The turmeric is just in the seasoning aisle. It's not terribly expensive. I happen to have it in my pantry, and it had expired. It's one of those things, you know, one recipe calls for it every 6 years. So I pulled it out and just was playing with everything I had in the kitchen. This was just a scrap piece of paper that I had torn off for other parts of the journal. And I just folded it up and tucked it right in here. Just made a little pocket from the digital. And that page, the blues are getting darker. So pretty. It almost matches the outer cover there. And this is the cinnamon with a sprinkling. And it doesn't have the aroma of cinnamon, which I'm kind of disappointed about. But apparently not everyone likes the scent of cinnamon, which is weird to me because I love it. So we got the flag here. This little grate right here is really neat. I have a baking rack that I use just for like the coffee dyeing and things like that. And as it sat on there, it like sunk through and gave it just like this really gentle grid to it. I just thought it was so cool. And then these little spots that happen, you know, they just can't be replicated. They're just perfect in their own way. And here it's darker on this side. And I made this cutout here, or the cutout from the digital. Sorry, words are hard today. And this is from the scrapbook page. And I just tore out integrity, definition, and just a little tearaway book, a little splotches. I had coffee in a spray bottle, and I just thought it was so much fun. I was playing around with different ink blending on the stamp there, and just kind of just gave it a little something. And then there's that. And if you see, this is the cutout from this paper here. So I try to use the little scraps that I create in the same project or a similar project. When I first started out, everyone was talking about, you know, so many scraps and never going to get through the scrap pile and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait till I have scraps. And sure enough, I do. I have scraps now, but I do like using the little pieces here and there. And I actually find that using the scraps are like less intimidating. So I am more creative with it because I'm like, well, it's already a scrap. So if I don't use it, there's no harm. But looking at a 12 by 12 piece or just a piece of gorgeous coffee dyed paper, you're like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up, you know, whatever you're doing, or well, whatever I'm doing. You just want to make sure it's, you know, just so. So just make a couple, I just made a couple little pockets. This is a fairly naked journal. I wanted to have plenty of room for writing. This is also a gift for a friend, so I'm sure she's gonna love it. She is a huge writer and she actually does calligraphy and things like that. So, and she's into scrapbooking. So I feel like she's really gonna get into this. And I'm actually pretty excited to see what she does with it. She's just a creative kind of gal. All right, and this back piece right here is just a pocket. So I have the back cover, and then I put just a scrap that I had from other parts of the book, and then I just put a piece of lace behind it and just made the whole thing into a pocket. Okay, so that is the journal thus far. So your guys' advice, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Your advice on Instagram was that I do tattered or worn or antiqued, and you know, I asked for suggestions, and I agree. I think it would, you know, something on the front wouldn't look quite right if it was like brand spanking new looking. So what I decided to do is I tore it. So I tore the edge of this fabric here and here, and this was also dyed with the coffee and tie-dye leftover. And this is actually the back of a table runner. The front of the table runner had like flowers, and I like deconstructed the whole thing and ripped it apart. Basically tripled the amount of fabric that I got from it, or that it originally looked to be. And you know, hung it up vertically to dry out in the sun. And this is kind of the results of it. And actually afterwards I ran it through the wash. I'm just, you know, new to everything, just trying to see how well something holds up. And if this, you know, she's got this book out and then it's wet outside, is it going to get ruined? So just trying to, you know, make the best of it and learn a little bit. So what I did is I like Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix, and it does well for me. I find that sometimes it does bleed through. I don't know why exactly, or exactly the reasoning behind it. This side is brighter in the color, and this side is more of the coffee look, so that's why I went with this side on the exterior. So I used the Fabri-Fix on the inside right here to give it strength, and I'm leaving this tattered like this. I might pull out some more strings to give it, like, you know, more of a texture to it, but I enjoy it. I think it makes it fun, interactive feeling. And after that, sorry, so I did the Fabri-Tac on that side, sorry, and I used just a glue stick. I haven't found a glue stick that I am absolutely crazy about, but this is the one I had on hand, so I went ahead and rubbed it all over the book right here, all over the flat part, just to give it something to kind of stick to. And I'll go around I'm going to go in the spine right here. One of the tips that I heard is to put this Fabri-Fix or any kind of fabric glue that's like, you see I'm shaking to squeeze this bottle. It's always been like that. Like since I got it, it's been like that. So, you know, I looked it up and people use icing bottles. I think the brand they say is Sugar Bells. There's probably other bottles, but they're softer and easier to squeeze, because I thought it was my glue that was the problem. Well, apparently it's the bottle that's so thick. So what I'm doing is I used a book that I just gutted, so that's what the cover is. So what I'm doing is just putting the Fabrifix down in the crease right there. And I'm going to move on to the spine. And I kind of was trying a different method here where I did the 3-hole pamphlet, but I did them all a little bit different lengths, kind of as a test, so she can tell me the durability, which one did she like best, which one did she work with best. I'll probably be making other journals for her. It's just kind of, I don't know. Seems like something that she is really going to enjoy. So I'm just laying this down. And just work with it. Just kind of wiggle it to where you want it to go. And I usually do an exposed spine, which just means that your stitches are on the outside. But this time, because I did them all different lengths, I wanted to do it. I wanted to cover it. And I'm going to put something here and obviously something on the cover. I haven't really decided what I want to do on the cover yet. So, ideas, suggestions. What do you think? What should we do? What should I put there? I do think my next Amazon purchase is going to be book plates. And I think that's what they're called. The little metal brackets that you put on and, you know, title your book. I think that's really fun. I'm not sure. Some of the journals I make have names. Like they just come. You know, it's just like kind of pops in your head and it's like, oh yeah, it's just got that vibe. The whole time you're making it, that word or that phrase just keeps appearing and appearing. This one didn't really have a name. Nothing really was coming to me. And you know, of course, you can pick any kind of patriotic word or Americana or anything like that. But I try to, you know, kind of like Pam from the Paper Outpost, I try to listen to the vibe, you know, listen to what's going on, and nothing really called out on this one. And it could be because it's a naked journal, and once it's done, she'll have a name for it. You know what I mean? Once it's filled and, you know, the journal is the way it's going to be. And maybe I'll put the book plate there with a slip of paper blank and let her fill it in, because she is creative. So I was thinking about making this into a fabric pocket here, just like this, and gluing it down, but I decided against that. So I am just going to show you how I rip, not that you don't know how to rip fabric, but just, I guess how I do it. So I just make a little nip at the bottom there. Lock up my scissors so I don't hurt myself or others. And and you can do this ahead of time and like pre-measure and stuff like that. I'm not crazy about measuring. I like eyeballing stuff. I think it gives it more of like a, I don't know if handmade's the right word, but rustic or original type look. There we go. And I'll keep this, of course, as a junk journaler. This is gold. So, and that's all I have there. Just go ahead and put those fibers over. Do you guys put like those little library cards, you know, like they used to have back in the day? I'm not sure how old you viewers are, but when I was younger, library had the sign out cards and you put your name in it and they told you the due date, and I really like those. I think they're super cute. So I've got a digital that I purchased, and I was thinking about making a little library card in there and, you know, putting little check out people's names from history and things like that. I thought it might be kind of cool. Well, ideas, thoughts, go ahead and post them in the comments there, and hopefully we can come to some kind of some kind of conclusion about this now that I got the cover done and gave you guys a good flip through. Yeah, it's really nice talking with you guys and hanging out and getting some time to craft. And that's all I have for today. I'll see you back here at Lovely's Crafting Lodge.